This is set number 1 on step Silly Ducks Revolution versus MiTH.RTA-E. Brendan, why don't you take us through the tank selection?
We have a very different tank selection for both teams, actually. We have RTA-E with 3 AMX-50s and then 2 WZ-132s as their lights. And on the other side, we have 3 T-69s as medium tanks and then 2 AMX-13s.
All right, so definitely much more mobility coming out from the Silly Ducks. It's kind of actually, I'm not used to seeing this. Usually we tend to see a lot more lighter tanks on this map because it is fairly open. And I mean, I understand why they're going with, the heavier forces. They want to kind of, in those close quarter combat engagements, the heavier forces definitely will prevail. And with I guess the changes or the slight variation of the rules, you can't be too passive. These teams are expecting to engage each other 100%. They're not expecting to sit back and play passive in camp. So with that in mind, I guess they're just kind of changing the strategy up, going for those heavier forces, going for those close engagements.
Yeah, I mean, they could pull something like what Immortals did, I believe, to Silly Duck Revolution, which was actually, I think it was on Prof. Garovka. They went for a pretty heavy tank setup, which is different on a map that big, but what they did was they just slowly crept forward, and then once they got close enough, they just forced the engagement, and the Silly Duck Revolution couldn't run away, and it just ended up, the Immortals ended up crushing them. So maybe they saw that and they thought, hey, we can do that too. Yeah,
exactly. So that could be going, that could be what's going through their minds at this very moment. Both teams kind of poking at each other. They're not too close to each other right now. The Silly Ducks Revolution kind of on the eastern side, more towards the south, whereas their opponents, RTA-E, really up there in the northwestern corner.
Yeah, it's a really big map, so they're gonna have a bit before these teams engage, probably.
Yeah, and no real damage has been dealt to either of these teams as well. They are so far apart from each other right now. And I mean, what I'm guessing is, I want to see RTA-E be a little bit more aggressive on the Silly Ducks. They do have those heavier forces. This AMX-50 is so good at, just getting consecutive shots off. 3 AMX-50s, that's a total of 18 shots you can fire in concession. So I mean, that's 18 shots. Although it is spread out between 3 tanks, if you go for that engagement, you can definitely at least get a couple tanks down.
Yeah, I think the important thing is that you force the engagement first, and once you have that firefight going, you can use all of those ammos and you can use those shots onto the enemy tanks. But if they're running around and it's all over the place and it's not really straight on and set up, then it's not going to be great for these heavy tanks.
Exactly. So RTA-E is still kind of in that northwestern corner, and the Silly Ducks, they really want to engage. I mean, looking at their movement right now, they really want to, at least they're looking for an opening. And right now, since they don't have any vision on the Silly Ducks, they don't want to risk anything too much by going out into the open, coming out of cover and then potentially, taking a lot of damage or even going down.
Yeah, I think it's important, especially since Silly Ducks have a lot more mobility. They have to abuse it, like you were saying. They have to force an engagement on their terms. They can even try to bait RTA into pushing towards the base and then actually drive all the way behind and take the enemy base, RTA's, yeah. But we'll have to see what they do. It seems like they do want to set up something soon.
Yeah, so you can't see it on your map right now, but RTA actually sending 2 of their lighter tanks down to that southern edge, and it could open up a door for Silly Ducks, but nice damage going to Ara. Amine, yeah, another nice shot coming out, down to about 50% health right now. He is backing up just out of cover. He was spotted, but he isn't spotted anymore. So, the Silly Ducks right now, they're kind of, if they give RTA too much time, they're gonna get taken out one by one because the rest of the map is open right now. They're all clustered up, whereas the Silly Ducks, they have forces down in the south. They have some forces up in the north, or one force or one tank down right in the center of the map. So they have the Silly Ducks the RTA-E have much more options right now.
Yeah, they definitely do. They're so spread out on this map right now. Actually, all of their heavy tanks are like above the halfway point and to the northwest. So it seems they want to play a bit more defensive, but send their stronger Tier 8 light tanks out to do a bit of scouting, mobility, and try to take and separate the Silly Ducks Revolution force.
Yeah, and you're taking a look now at the RTA side, and yeah, if you look right now at the way these tanks are set up, you have your heavier tanks kind of out far back, right near the base. Those are the AMX-50s. So the AMX-50s have extremely long range, great accuracy, great damage, so you can afford to have them a little far back. And as long as you get vision on the enemy team, no matter where you are, as long as you have a clear shot, you can most likely make that. So you have the 3 other scouts, kind of roaming around the southern area of the map, trying to spot down the members of Silly Ducks Revolution. However, all the members of Silly are way over there on that eastern ridge.
Yeah, it seems like they were a bit clumped up. Most of the, all the medium tanks were together kind of to the right of that green and slightly darker brown field, and just kind of sitting there in that ridge and waiting and seeing what they could poke out.
Yeah, so we'll have to see exactly what RTA-E decides to do here. I mean, the ball is in their court right now. The Silly Ducks, they don't have many options right now because they are all clustered up on the eastern side. So, you know, there's only one predictable route, and that's exactly what they're doing right now. Silly Ducks Revolution, their only real the route they can take is that northeastern kind of edge of the map, and they're moving up towards the eastern map, or the northeastern part of the map right now. They could be going for a push. It is definitely kind of risky because they're going to run into 3 AMX-50s.
Yeah, on my map, I have the vision of one of the AMX-50s, and it just switched to another, and they see this coming. They spotted one of those light tanks in the front, and they know where they're coming from. I actually saw a ping like a minute and a half ago saying, "Oh, they're probably going to come from there."
Yeah.
So I think RTA knows exactly what's going on here.
Yeah, and RTA actually pulling back 2 of their lighter tanks to support this possible push coming out from the Silly Ducks. The Steelers really hesitating though because they have absolutely zero vision on the RTA team right now.
Yeah, they really don't. They're just slowly pushing in here. I mean, they have to know that what they're doing is a bit predictable as well, but at this point, like, the timer's running down. They got to do something.
Yeah, exactly. About 3 minutes and 40 seconds left right now. RTA-E, they are sending one of their WZ-132s to try and spot out the members of Silly Ducks. And the Silly Ducks, they're still behind this ledge right now. They aren't spotted, and they will have cover if they does come to like a kind of a medium to long range engagement. But the thing is, the AMX-50s are much more superior than those T-60s.
Yeah, and they're already spotting out. You can see a bunch of shots going down. One tank actually going down to 80%, and now 58%.
Oh, but T1 gets taken out. Obelisk also taking a lot of damage right now. RTA-E, yeah, they have vision of so many members of Silly Ducks, whereas the Silly Ducks, not so much vision on RTA right now.
Yeah, I think this is really good for RTA. I mean, they have all their AMX-50s really close back. They actually sent one a bit further up, but you have 2 tanks, I think one of them light, one medium, for Silly Ducks that are already at 50% health.
Yeah, so RTA slowly pushing this advantage. They are pulling their AMX-50s more towards the eastern edge, but top 1412 taking a lot of damage, trying to come in to support this firefight. And the Silly Ducks Revolution, it looks like they are going to back out.
Yeah, they're going to back out. I mean, that was a really dangerous position for them already. I don't think they want to risk it anymore. But they can't be too passive, you know. You don't want to get DQ'd.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what the Steelers got to do is they got to come in from a different angle. They got to secure more of the map right now. They have, you know, all they have at their disposal is that eastern side. That eastern side is so well guarded by the RTA team, and you know what they should do. You know, maybe there probably isn't enough time anymore. But what they should have done earlier on in the map is, you know, clear out the southern edge of the map, make sure none of the RTA tanks were down there, and then possibly, you know, then the Steelers would be, you know, they would have to guess on where RTA would have to go from.
Yeah, this is actually interesting. Silly Ducks moved up while RTA was getting in position, and it seems like it's still not going too well for them. Even though all of the RTA tanks are out here in the open, they can't really get to cover.
Yeah, but they do manage to take a WZ-132, so great job coming out from the Silly Ducks. The Silly Ducks now in a slightly commanding position. It is going to force RTA to come out and push on them right now. About a minute and a half remaining. The base capture has been started for RTA-E, and right now the Silly Ducks are moving back to defend that.
Yeah, they don't want to let that one little T1 tank.
Armane probably going to take it out right here, down to about 10%. He does get taken out, so another T69 gets taken out. Oh, the Silly Ducks losing 2 tanks in that engagement, losing an AMX-13 and a T69. So now RTA in the huge lead.
Yeah, I have to say, Silly Ducks Revolution didn't really do it right against all of these heavy tanks. They let them set up and
Ashgar Musketeer lining up the shot. Yeah, RTA-E, but they do manage to take on another Silly Ducks tank, so great job from RTA-E using those AMX-50s. Look at that. Yeah. Ripper here with 3 kills on the AMX-50. He is doing such a such a good job. You know, that long range, that autoloader of the AMX-50 is so good. They're probably going to get, he has to be careful, Ashgar Musketeer. Although he is in the light tank, he's doing so much damage right now, but so many members are just closing in on Musketeer right now.
It was so funny. He had hand-eye actually baiting Silly Duck's Revolution into fighting with this light tank, and then he would just back off, and then the AMX-50s would fire, and he would kill one after one tank. And now Silly Duck's Revolution with only 2 tanks left to the 4 of RTA.
Yeah. And is that autoloader that is so good on the AMX-50? Yeah, AMX-50, yeah, with 3 of them,